We knew we wanted to build leadership capability within the CIO and ICT executive cohort, but we weren't fixed on what that solution looked like. So we went to market and a variety of approaches were provided to us, and AltusQ was successful predominantly on the combination of the variety of workshops that they could offer and the content that was in those workshops, and particularly because of the executive coaching and because that was accredited and well documented as being quality coaching. Because I think some of the executives that had coaching before that may not have been at that level and had concerns around coaching. And AltusQ helped us with some workshops around really understanding what our Director Generals wanted from our Chief Information Officers and what they thought great leadership really looked like. So I suppose for me, looking back, what was most helpful was for the cohort the opportunity to have robust discussions and exchange thoughts. Some of these people hadn't crossed paths together, even though our CIOs meet regularly. Some of the ICT execs don't actually meet in a particular forum. They might cross paths in a meeting or on a program board, but not in any established program. So it gave them an opportunity to discuss some of the strategic models that came up through the workshops and to then just start to build relationships. So one of the outcomes we were trying to achieve, not only to build the leadership capability, but to try and create a closer network cohort. So it gave them an opportunity to build those relationships in those workshops. So that was one. The other thing that was really helpful was it gave them permission and time to reflect on what their role was and what their leadership journey was. I suppose they're always, even though they're executives, their role is very busy and a lot of it could be focused on the daily dramas, and it gave them permission to take a strategic focus, to step back and take that time to really think about what was required of their role, where they were at, and what this program could do to help them. And the other thing too was around that coaching. So that one-on-one executive coaching meant that it was tailored to them. So because our CIOs are, our departments are very big and very small, so our CIOs have varying roles, varying experiences they bring with them. So it was great that the coaching could adapt to whatever was needed for each individual. So I suppose the main themes are, besides the giving each participant a great toolkit to go away with, so robust frameworks, lots of information, it then gave them the coaching of how to implement those frameworks as they went along. So as an individual, I think that was probably the number one benefit for them, and engaging with their peers and creating networks. I think I'd put down in my notes that what were some of the challenges, and the biggest challenges were scheduling and time. So obviously executives' diaries get really busy, and trying to schedule half days where everybody could come in the room for the training, and then their coaching sessions, and then the triad sessions where they then had a DDG or a DG in the room as well. So that scheduling became very difficult, but AltusQ took on most of that role. So that was great because it was very time consuming, and as much as participants, didn't want to change their appointments if they could, lots of times things were out of their control and something would come up and they'd have to change. So yeah, time and effort was much more than I probably anticipated at the beginning. Yeah. Positive feedback from all participants. I suppose as AltusQ, once we'd wrapped up, AltusQ helped me do a review, and they sought feedback from each of the participants, and we put that together in a more strategic view of it. And there's things that we learnt along the way, so it would have been nice to have brought them together for a couple of days off-site somewhere to start with, to really concrete that relationship from the beginning. So to form stronger bonds at the beginning. So yeah, there's lessons we learned, but on the whole, very positive feedback. And I think a lot of that comes down to the quality of the coaching and the ability for it to adapt to their needs and where they were on their journey. I have seen that since we finished the program, there was a lot more sharing of executives, because people became aware of other people. So when somebody needed to go and help on a project, or secondments, or swapping this person for that person for a few months, that seems to have happened a lot since we finished the program. And lots of people in the program, participants, have gone on to bigger and better roles as well. things. So I think I had some notes around AltusQ. So what stood out about working with them? So I suppose from the moment that we signed the contract with them, that they were going to be partners with us, they exceeded my expectations. So they were there for every part of the journey. So the establishment, lots of conversations around wanting to make sure that we got return on investment for what we were investing money-wise and time-wise. Once we actually then got into the framework, both Sonia Trow and Daniel Wright were always available to me. I sat in on each of the workshops and I might think, oh, are they really engaged with that framework or this topic? I think we could do more here. And I could easily phone them or send a text message and say, hey, I think we can explore this a bit more. And always contactable, always back in touch, and very open and giving of their time and expertise, both in the program and to me personally. So their previous experience in leadership programs, yeah, they were very, very open and giving of their expertise to me, and very flexible, because as I said, those changing of appointments became quite onerous, but they took it all in their stride and it didn't faze them, and they ended up putting a lot of extra time and effort into that element of the program, without questioning it. That's just what needed to be done, and they were there. So I suppose their availability and their ability to share information with me was the utmost thing. So if we break it down, what we were trying to achieve, we're trying to build individual leadership capability in 20 people, and also to create a more connected cohort for that, and we definitely achieved that through that program. And I know that some of the participants have continued with their executive coaching through AltusQ. They were really happy with that level of coaching and the expertise that each of the coaches brought with them. So overall really satisfactory, more than satisfactory results from the program and the time and effort that went into it. Yeah.